We'll start by opening the build window, Control 4, click on the ground to res a prim. Let's zoom into that a little bit. And we can see in the build window, in the general tab, the default name that's been given to the prim, which is object. Let's give it a name that means something. So we'll call this chest prim. You can also see up here that we've got one object selected and its land impact is 1. That's a complex calculation for land impact, but a basic prim has a land impact of 1. And let's say we want to copy this prim. So if we hold our cursor over one of the arrows, hold down the shift key and click and drag, then we've got an exact copy of the prim there. This one on the right that's currently selected is the original, this one's the copy. So let's deselect those. We're going to look at selecting 2 prims at the same time. With the build window already open, we can just left click on one, then we can hold down the shift key and left click on the other. Let's say we want to link those 2 prims together. We can either go up to the build window and click on link, or we could have gone Control L. So now that moves as a single item, and you'll notice that one of these has got a yellow outline on it, the other one's got a blue. The one with the yellow outline is called the root prim. Let's duplicate that object, and you can see now that's still one object, but its land impact is 2 because there's 2 prims involved. So again, we'll hold our cursor over one of the arrows, hold down the shift key, click and drag. Now we have 2 separate objects. If I select this one, hold down shift and click on the other one, they're all selected. Press Control L to link them. And you can see now that these all move as one object. One object selected, land impact 4. And there's 3 with a blue outline and 1 with a yellow outline. So there's only ever one root prim in a group. You can have a group of, the most number that can be linked is 256 prims. There'll only ever be one root prim in that linked group. Let's click off to deselect those. If I want to select something with the build window still open, I can just left click, click off to deselect them again, close the build window. If I want to select an object and the build window is closed, then I can just go right click and select edit. To unlink these, we can either go up to the build window and go to unlink, or with them in edit mode, we can go Control Shift L to unlink the objects. And we'll click off them and you can see now that they're all separate objects. To show you one other way of selecting objects, you've got to be very careful with this one, because you can select objects that are far in the distance and mess around with them if they belong to you. This method uses clicking and dragging over the objects. You need the build window open for this. Hold the cursor up over this side. I always find having the camera over the top of the prims is the best way of doing this, or near the top of the prims. Then you click and hold down the mouse key and drag over the objects till they're surrounded by the yellow rectangle. Release the mouse key and the prims are selected. Control L will link them. You'll notice that there's a different root prim this time round. Root prim is decided based on the last object that was selected. Now we'll look at editing individual prims in that object. So we can go up and select Edit Linked, and with Edit Linked selected we can select individual prims and manipulate them independent of the object. Then if we deselect Edit Linked, you can see the prims are all still part of the same object. The last thing I want to show you is rotation. And you can see that the center point here is what we rotate around when we use the handles. Check out this way of rotating now, where you can see that's the root prim. If I go into the Object tab and I rotate using these numbers, you can see we're now rotating around the root prim.